We're starting to see snow in the hills. We'll check in on them a little bit later on. But for the rest of your day, breezy conditions, especially out west with rain continuing to develop through the day. Temperatures are going to vary wildly depending on where you are. 70s to the southeast, 50s, 40s, and even some 30s out west. And then we kind of split the difference in between. Overnight lows dropping into the 40s with some 30s out there. Rain continues to develop and try and push eastward, but with a couple of catches to that. We'll talk about the rest of your forecast. Until then, Midday in KELOLAND starts right now.
Live from KELOLAND Media Group, Midday in KELOLAND.
As Halloween nears, Deadwood reflects on a long and spooky history. And with only 1 week left before Election Day, each candidate hopes to draw in additional voters. Good afternoon and thanks for having us in. A mother and son are headed to federal prison for a deadly beating in western South Dakota. In May of 2023, 48-year-old Theodora Belt and 23-year-old Bailey Belt were involved in a fight at a home in the town of Bridger. The Belts beat two brothers with a shovel and then ran over one of them. One brother died, the other had serious injuries but survived. A jury recently convicted the Belts of second-degree murder and assault charges. This week, a judge sentenced Theodora Belt to 22 years behind bars. Her son, Bailey Belt, received a 27-year sentence. Their prison time will be followed by 3 years of supervised release. As winter prepares to settle in, eventually, Camp Leif Erikson in Sioux Falls is set to host one last fall cleanup. Volunteer Day is this Saturday and will include raking leaves, clearing fallen trees, staining a pirate ship, and painting picnic tables if time allows.
It's vital that we prepare the camp well this fall so that as we go into winter, it's in a good spot and it minimizes what we have to do in the spring. We want to make sure it's a clean, safe, and fun environment for kids come next summer.
The cleanup event is Saturday from 1 to 3 in the afternoon. All supplies will be provided. We're going to tell you what else will be new in 2025 tonight on KELOLAND News. Warm and comfortable here in the eastern half of South Dakota. Out west, we have some snow falling, Adam.
Yeah, it's starting to build in, the snow rather, out toward the Black Hills. And a prime example of that is what you see behind me over in Terry Peak. We are getting that snow to begin to accumulate. 34 in nearby Lead with a north wind at 4 miles per hour. So while we're seeing the snow in Terry Peak, it's a different story toward Deadwood. Notice how we have just wet pavement there for now, but if you look really carefully and squint, there are a couple of little flakes that are trying to mix in right now. It's only going to be a matter of time before we start to see the snow flying out in Deadwood as well. We are well in the range of snow being able to fall in terms of temperatures out there. 39 in Spearfish, even cooler as we saw in Lead. They're at 34. 47 though, Rapid City, 43 in Buffalo. But then you head over to central South Dakota, 56 in Pierre, 53 in Mulbridge. Then you go to Sioux Falls, you're at 64. You're knocking on the door of 80 over in Spencer. So yeah, typical fall day, I suppose, with a little bit of everything in terms of temperatures. The wind is also really dictating who is seeing what in terms of that temperature spread. Notice the southerly wind in Spencer and even Worthington, for that matter, 17 and 24 miles per hour, respectively. Everywhere else outside of Sioux Falls and to a different extent Brookings and Watertown, it is a northerly wind that is bringing in that cooler air on the backside of a surface area of low pressure that is going to continue to push on through the region. Here is live Doppler radar, and you can see the rain, at least, up toward Buffalo and even Belfouche. We'll move on over and zoom in toward Spearfish, toward Lead as well, where you can see that snow starting to really fill in the gaps there. Winter weather advisory along the I-90 corridor in Lawrence County, then toward Hill City, Custer as well. That's a winter weather advisory through Wednesday morning in red for areas like Lead and Deadwood. That is a winter storm warning for the same time frame. In that warning area, you could see 6+ inches of snow. Lesser amounts, though, in the advisory areas regardless. Things could get treacherous out there, so please be careful if you must be out and about. Elsewhere, we're talking about rain. No snow in the forecast eastward for anytime soon. We'll talk about that in a little more detail in your extended forecast.
Thank you, Adam. October features kids in costumes, scary stories, and ghost tours. Deadwood in western South Dakota is known for its history of gunslingers and folk heroes. However, they also have a deep history of spirits allegedly roaming the town.
But we get all kinds of cool stuff, we really do. But there's such an energy to this place, and I think a lot of it is because of just how many spirits are still hanging around here.
Deadwood offers several historic and spooky tours year-round where you can learn more about the scary history hidden in the Black Hills. We're 1 week away from Election Day, and the race for the White House is neck and neck. Both Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump have packed schedules with plenty of stops before next Tuesday. Washington correspondent Basil John reports.
Both candidates are focused on battleground states as the tight race wages on.
We will restore America's promise, and we will take back the nation that we love.
Former President Donald Trump was at Georgia Tech, urging his voters to turn out to the polls.
We will never give in. We will never give up. We will never back down.
Trump also pushed back on Democrats, calling him a fascist.
And then they say he's a Nazi. I'm not a Nazi. I'm the opposite of a Nazi.
Meanwhile, Democrats were pulling out all the stops Monday night, with Vice President Kamala Harris holding a joint rally with running mate Governor Tim Walz in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
We are here together because we know what is at stake.
Kamala and I are offering a new way forward.
And former President Barack Obama called for support for Harris in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Vote for Kamala Harris as the next president. Vote for Tim Walz as the next vice president.
With celebrity appearances from Bruce Springsteen, John Legend, and Maggie Rogers, it highlights the all-out sprint to Election Day.
And when we fight, we win.
Tonight, Harris is expected to address the nation from the Ellipse in D.C. The campaign is calling it her closing argument to the American people to present the vision for the country each candidate has. Reporting in Washington, I'm Basil John.
Election security is a concern after fires at 2 ballot boxes in the West. Incendiary devices were set off at ballot boxes in Portland, Oregon, and Vancouver, Washington. Hundreds of ballots were destroyed in Washington. A fire suppression system in the Portland box extinguished the flames there, and only 3 ballots were damaged. The crimes bring up questions about the security of ballots during this hotly contested election. But CBS News election law expert David Becker says these cases are extremely isolated.
We're 7 days away, 45 states in D.C. offering early voting right now. You can probably go vote early in person, as I did this past weekend. It was incredibly quick and easy. You can return your mail ballot at this point. I think put it in a drop box, or if you're a little bit worried about that, take it right to an election office right now. I wouldn't put it in the mail because we're only 7 days away.
Police have released pictures of a car that may be connected to the fires. Still ahead, recent studies suggest that polarizing differences